So as many of you know, I was at the Charlie Kirk event and I witnessed his assassination. Since then, thousands of people from around the globe, if not more, have expressed their condolences, more so for my well-being. They've said prayers, they've sent nothing but love and support, and it was incredible. It felt really nice to know that there are people around the world that cared about someone they didn't even know. And then started the conspiracy theorists. And I just wanted to quickly get on here and explain to some of my friends and family and the people that are conspiracy theorists, I guess, what's been going on in my life and the stress that it's been causing me. I deal with stress okay. I'm pretty good at dealing with stress. My wife can attest. But the conspiratorial side of this has just gone a little bit too far. And so I found one person who kind of summed up all the craziness in one little post. And so I thought I'd just address that really quickly so that it can be put to bed. Let me pull this up here. Okay, so his name is Project Consta 2. I'm just going to read that and go through different aspects of it. Deep State Crisis Actor exposed. Meet Skylar Baird, the eyewitness, quote, eyewitness, who was drowning in red flags after the Charlie Kirk public execution. Ladies and gentlemen, if Charlie Kirk assassination at UVU doesn't scream inside job from the rooftops of Langley and Tel Aviv, then I don't know what does. We've seen the FBI strong-arming witnesses to delete their footage, claiming it'll give them PTSD. Please, that's code for bury the evidence. But one patriot, Ryan Simmons, backed up his drive. What did it catch? The slimy operator Skylar Baird, glued to Charlie's security like a bad rash. In the front row, helicopter dropping Coast Guard vet turned digital content creator with a whopping 7 Facebook posts after the hit. Coincidence in DC? Never. So that's really weird. I've never been in the Coast Guard. I've never dropped out of a Coast Guard helicopter. He's referencing this video shoot that I was on like 7 years ago where we were doing a video project for Intermountain Healthcare, which is a hospital in Utah. And my job as the cameraman was to film being dropped out of a helicopter so that someone could have a first-person experience of what that was like. But the conspiracy theorists don't bother with checking facts. They don't bother with the truth. They just kind of like a really, really bad telephone game where they see one creator post something and then they exaggerate it. And you can just see it like growing throughout all of the different posts. Like one creator one person will say something and then it's like a bad TMZ article if it was put through 10 versions of TMZ articles and just keeps getting worse and worse. And so they think that he's saying that it caught me glued to Charlie's security guard like a bad rash. Like, no, it wasn't. There was there was a lot of different security guards at the event. And so obviously I was close to one of them because there was a lot of them there, but I wasn't following them around or anything like that. They take issue with my digital content creator because these people glorify social media to the point where it's like, their life, and if anything was to be weird about it, then they would cry. But I haven't touched my Facebook account in a long time, and most of it is set to private, and so the few things that I've posted since, I guess, aren't private. Anyway, he continues. This guy's been on a media blitz, crocodile tears and all, interviewed 7 times by the mainstream media, regurgitating the same scripted sob story. I was 10 to 15 feet away. It was chaos. But peel back the layers and it's a Mossad fever dream. I watched a 2-hour deep dive on Missy's YouTube channel and Baird drops bombshells that should have the swamp in panic mode. Okay, yes, I was interviewed by few different news places, but I don't know what that has to do with anything. Um, one of the common themes in these conspiracy theorists' criticism of me is that I cried while recounting the events that happened that day. They don't like that I blink a lot. I don't know why I blink, but apparently some people think it's because you're lying. Most people think that, or not most people, other people say that it's when you're stressed. And I'm sure that when I'm being interviewed, I'm probably stressed. I wanted this to be quick, so I'm going to keep going quickly, but there was a lady who interviewed me, and her name was Missy or something, and I thought she was going to be fairly unbiased and fairly nice, but she actually like chopped up the interview and cut out everything I said about God and anything I said that was religious and anything that I said that was, I felt impressed by God that I should do this or do that. She cut that all out. I don't know why. Maybe she doesn't believe in God. I don't know. Maybe she thought it would hurt her channel. I don't know. And then she also tries to tie me to Phil Lyman for some reason. I'm not related to him in any way, but she cuts it up, trying to make it seem like I said that I am related to him, which I'm not, and I didn't say that either. He continues, premonition much? On a three-way call with friends, he says, I hope there's not a shooting. Psychic or just briefed on the script? Crisis actor one-on-one, he admitted that he faked his way into the media area. I didn't fake my way in the media area. There was just I walked into it, and as I got there, I was like, oh, this appears to be a media area. I guess I should pull out my phone and record too. That's what everyone else was doing around me. Dressed as a professional. I was dressed wearing my work attire, which was a t-shirt that had silk screened my company logo on it. Whipped out a camera and kind of acted the part to schmooze up close. Yeah, it's true. No credentials, no problem when you're playing a Fed dress up. Nobody had credentials. There was nobody with credentials there. It wasn't that type of event. Family ties to the plot, casually drops that he's related to Phil Lyman. Yeah, that Phil Lyman. Utah GOP power player who was backstage. Stepdad's ex from 30 years ago? Sure. Jan and a devout Mormon? So he's claiming that I'm again, related to Phil Lyman, which I'm not. It was the deceptive editing of that YouTuber. And he's a devout Mormon with a ponytail. That conspiracy theorist, aka truth seekers, clock as CIA camo because nothing says LDS elder like a man bun. So he has a real issue with my little mullet thing I'm growing. In full disclosure, my first counselor told me that was the most hideous thing that he's ever seen on Sunday, which is fine. It's fine. I like it. I've always wanted to grow a Jedi braid. Unrelated, and I'm sure that a lot of people that are seeing this for the first time, but I always wanted to grow a Jedi braid. So I decided to start growing one. And soon enough, it'll be there. Israel love affair gone weird. Get mystery call from Israel radio station. It wasn't really a mystery call. It was just someone that claimed they were Israeli radio station, and they wanted to interview me. And so I did, and it was really weird. Professes his undying love for the homeland. I never professed my undying love for Israel. I said, I don't know, I think I said that in the Bible, Israel is talked about as God's chosen people, but that's an individual thing, just because God wants, the Bible is talking nonstop about how God's chosen people aren't listening to God and the things that happen to them because they're not listening to God. So I'm not really sure how that means anything. Ghosted after, phone starts glitching like he got a Mossad bug. Name drops Mossad a half dozen times in the interview, like he's auditioning for the next Bond villain. Okay, I don't even know what you're trying to say there. Trajectory tell. Agrees with smart money. Shot came from Charlie's right. High up, south to north. Exit wound on the left side. Blood spurts coming out. Bullet buried under the fresh tile work. No FBI chat. Shocker. They're too busy scrubbing Google Trends to show spikes of Skylar Baird from Tel Aviv, Haifa, and DC before September 10th. So I just wanted to one of the things that these people are saying is that that my name pops up on Google search trends. I don't know how you can find Tel Aviv. Israel. Israel. Can't even spell Israel. No search trends from Israel. So let's try. How do you get it from worldwide to regular? I want to go to America. How do you like do United States? Or I guess, I don't know. I want to do Tel Aviv specifically. Haifa? How do you spell Haifa? Let's go back to his page. He wants Tel Aviv, Haifa, DC. Okay, here we go. Tel Aviv. Here we go. Nothing. Haifa. Haifa district. Nothing. DC. Well, let's try image search. Let's try YouTube search for Haifa. Nothing. See? I'm not getting anything here, buddy. Not on the YouTube search either. Okay. Washington, D.C. YouTube search. One hit on the YouTube search. Web search. One hit, same day on the web search, which I think is interesting, right? So you got one hit out of the things that you said. But what I've also done is when I've looked at this, I click on other places. Oh, Baltimore, Maryland. Let's go to Alaska. Nothing in Alaska. Let's go to Arizona. Nothing in Arizona. Let's go to Arkansas. Ooh, Arkansas. Must be those FBI agents in Arkansas Googling my name. California. Did anyone do a YouTube search in California? Oh, they did a YouTube search in California. My name. Oh my gosh. Connecticut. Nothing in Connecticut. Did they do a web search in Connecticut? They did a web search in Connecticut. So anyway, my point is like you can click on all these things and you can find things, people searching my name during this time period all over. And like even if you go, I don't know, let's try, what's another, like Brazil. Let's try Brazil. Go try Brazil. Go back to Brazil. Nothing in Brazil. Let's try Afghanistan. Nothing in Afghanistan. I don't even know. Oh, we got one in Afghanistan. Must be like Osama bin Laden's brother or something Googling me. I don't know where the Allen Islands are. Where's a place that I've actually heard of? Argentina. Anyway, if you sit here and peruse around and like hang out on search trends, you're going to find that there's people around the United States and around the world that have Googled my name. Nothing in China. I feel like these trends just aren't very reliable because I think like you can change like the custom time from like we'll say like January 1st until September 9th, and like oftentimes it comes up with different stuff. See, like right there, I just went back 2 months and you find totally different stuff than what you did, and people would be like, oh, well, they must have scrubbed it from Ecuador. No, your time frame was wrong. Egypt. I'm being sought in Egypt. About Ethiopia. It's Ethiopia. Ethiopia loves me. Okay, so I think I proved my point that this is stupid. Mainly because there's a creator, and maybe I can find this person. SKYLERRBEARD. There's somebody that has like this guy right here. So this person has like my same name, but obviously spell it wrong because I don't know, because they do. And there's another one on like X that has way more, maybe it's TikTok, 3 million likes for this person. So I'm pretty sure that they're actually like searching this person, 3.6 million likes with 185,000 followers, and not really searching me. it inflates my ego and it feels good, but I just don't think that's what's happening. I'm pretty sure they're finding this influencer. Sorry that I'm taking away your keywords, Mr. Influencer. He talks about the trajectory, and yeah, when I was there, I interpreted the shots coming from the south to the north. I interpreted them coming from high up to down low. Could it have been a reflection of the sound that I heard? Could have. I don't know. I didn't have a very, I don't know, I didn't have a very specific idea of where it was coming from, but I definitely interpreted them coming towards me, which was from south to north. And so that's why I jumped into the pond. Let's see if I can do a Google image search of UVU. UVU fountain. So this is the fountain. Where the event was. There was an overhead view somewhere. Okay, so this is hard to see. And you can't even see my cursor, so that makes it even harder. I know that they'll be able to see what's going on here. Okay, so from this view, still not very good views on this. From this view, I was somewhere, actually you can see me right there. You can see, backwards in the mirrored image. So I'm the person with the, like 5 people over my finger. I've got the sunglasses kind of weirdly up on my head. I was using them as like a sun visor to block the sun. But that's how close I was. I think even after this, I might have been a little bit closer when the shooting actually happened shortly after this. But behind me, there was a water feature, a fountain. Kind of see in this photo. That's a hard one to see too. Anyway, behind me there was a water fountain, and you can kind of see it in this photo. If you look, it's hard to do this in the mirror, but there's like steps of a fountain going down, and I was between where that water is on the bottom and the gate. And so when the shot rang out, I jumped in that fountain because that's where I thought the bullet was coming from the south to the north. I do want to see something here though, and because I interpreted this area to be like a media area when I was standing there, but when I looked at this picture, it didn't look very media-esque, and I don't know. So it might have changed from the time that I first got there, because this doesn't look as media-esque as I remembered. I remember a lot more people with cameras out, and maybe it was just because they were filming. But I interpreted that everyone had their cameras out because they were media, but it could have just been because they were there because of Charlie. I genuinely thought there was a lot more media. There's this camera that's behind Charlie, and there was a lady that was walking around with the camera. So maybe I just misinterpreted that all entirely. Okay, so this is the guy that is
today
that I'm actually like
great
this guy on the left.
special show for you. I'm also gonna.
Anyway, like I couldn't help but notice that he looks a lot like Barf, and I probably shouldn't be making that correlation because he's probably just gonna like at me even harder and tell me that I'm like CIA and stuff. But you know what? Screw this guy. He's said enough lies about me, literal lies about me, and put me on blast as if I am part of the assassination for Charlie Kirk. It's to the point where I'm so done with these people. Like they are the scum of the earth. They're literally pieces of garbage. I am getting this like in my head, like, don't talk about them like this. Okay. They're not pieces of garbage. These people that are attacking me and trying to tie me to an assassination are people that are searching for the truth. They're searching in the wrong places. Some of them are actually hurting. Some of them are genuinely wanting the truth. I say that with my eyes closed because me, as Skylar Baird, I don't feel that is true. I think a lot of them are really bad people. I really do. I think that they oftentimes do this for clicks. They oftentimes do this for the shock and awe. And then they move on to the next story and hurt the next person in line. So, should I be comparing him to Barf? No, I should not. Should I call him a liar? Probably not. He probably thinks that what he's saying is true. That's the scariest part. That's the scariest part. Because he is feeding in, like, I actually got a text message from somebody else earlier today that sent me a link to, I could probably find it, probably pull it up. I guess firstly, I don't want to, I was going to pull up some screen captures of people's text messages that they had sent me, but I don't know exactly how to do that without the public seeing their name, and I don't want anybody to like see their name. But this was from somebody that helps me run my some of my social media stuff for my company. And she said, "Hey Skylar, I never heard back about your thoughts on the unboxing video. The Dimensions should be today. There was UVU shooting today, and it's super sad. Not sure if I want to post today." So she was super sad about the UVU shooting, and she wasn't sure if she wanted to actually post anything today. And I replied, "I was there. I was right next to him. I'm shaken." And she sent back a little GIF of like the Aladdin dropping his jaw thing. "Oh my goodness, I'm glad you're all right. I'm sure that was traumatic." And then I said, "Yeah, I jumped into a pond behind a wall." She said, "Geez, it was absolute chaos." And then I didn't respond after that. This one comes from a family member. I sent her a screenshot from a video that this was at the very beginning of the event, and it shows a picture of me from behind. And I was like, "This is how close I was." And then she sends like a sad face emoji. "Did your phone end up working?" And I said, "No. This image came from somebody else." She said, "Holy crap. How are you doing this morning?" Because this must have been the day after. And I said, "I feel a bit better, but kept waking," this is me reading the text, "but kept waking up through the night with the images replaying through my mind." I think that's what's the most difficult about all this is I see videos that have tens, if not hundreds of thousands of views. And in these conspiracy theorist type of videos, they have a specific ilk, they have a specific following that wants to see craziness. They want to see, they want to be the ones to like figure it out. They want to be the ones that know more than other people. And for some reason, it really hits hard with like the 50 to 70-year-old women, like white women. I don't know. It's like I see a lot of them. They're like, "Oh my gosh, he's definitely an actor. He's definitely an actor. I definitely think he's an actor." It's like, who are you? And again, who is this guy? It's like freaking barf. Anyway, back to what I was reading on his thing. Finish this up. Fake tears, real guilt. Even his own 13-year-old son doesn't buy into it. "Dad, it's kind of weird that you were that close and snagged floor seats at the memorial." That was one of his exact quotes. But "Kid's got better instincts than the FBI. Baird whines media edited out his real sobbing." Yeah, I'm not whining. I'm just telling you what happened. The times when I was actually crying, when I couldn't compose myself to the media in these interviews that were literally less than 12 hours after I witnessed somebody murdered, they edited out the time that I was sobbing. Yeah. Is that weird? No. So you got the times when I composed myself as best I could to hold a conversation. And how he waltzed in the memorial. He chatted up a media gal, piggybacked through the detectors, sweet-talked a donor badge, get an extra ticket for the guy who escorted the DK shooter, Old Man George. I shot him, Patsy, right to the cop. So again, just he's exaggerating what happened. Was it unique that I was able to get into the floor of the Charlie Kirk event? Yes. But it wasn't that weird. I walked through one line of defense they had against the general public going out, and just walked through to go to like a media badge pickup, and the person was kind of like, oh, you gotta go get you have to have a badge to get through here. And I was like, yeah, there's a media people that want to interview me. And I'm reading, people will be like, oh, he's reading off a script. I'm literally reading the text that are on this side of the screen. That's all I see on my side to make sure I'm capturing it all. And then when we got to the metal detectors, they did not let me through. They said, no, you need a badge to get through here. So where you're saying that I snuck past the metal detectors, no. Like, I got to the metal detectors, went through them, and then the security was like, no, get out of here. You need a badge. And so that's when I went and found out that I couldn't get a badge because the media people weren't answering their phones. And then I discovered that I was even at the wrong table for the media badge. And I saw somebody that went up and they got their badges, and I asked them, I was like, hey, like, I was at the event and I saw Charlie unfortunately get murdered. And we had a little conversation. And I said, do you think there's any way that you could get me into the event? Because I really want to go. And he's like, yeah, maybe see what I can do. And so he went up to the table and he said, hey, one of the people that was supposed to be with me didn't show up. Can I give this guy my extra badge? And the TPUSA staffers or whoever they were, like kids, they were like volunteer kids from TPUSA. They're like, yeah, sure. And so they gave him an extra badge and he handed it to me and he said, like, good luck, like he felt good that he was able to assist me in getting in there. Anyway, so America, he talks about George Zinn and that crazy old man that I told the cops, like, I don't think that this is the real guy, but he's claiming that he shot him. I told the cops, I really don't think this is the real guy. Talks about how I had like a picture with Trump once 7 years ago and jumping out of helicopters, which I already explained. America, this isn't a grieving witness, which this is libel. This is where you're getting yourself into legal jeopardy. America, this isn't a grieving witness. Like, you're literally telling people that I'm an actor. You're telling people that I'm an agent for government entities. You're lying. This is verifiably false. I haven't yet sought legal counsel. I haven't yet sought that. But with the way that I've gotten these threats from various people, it's on my mind. And when I've had conversations with Grok and ChatGPT, like, there's a real likelihood that a lot of these creators that now know what they've posted is false and keep the videos up, that their accounts could get deleted. Should I do that? I'll probably confirm their suspicion and be like, oh, see, he definitely is FBI. You got our account deleted. No, it's because you're a jerk. It's because you're posting things that are verifiable lies. It's not your opinion. You're like, oh, you're saying that it's truth. It's not just an opinion. You're saying that it's truth. That's totally different. You are a liar. And you're hurting people because of it. You're doing it for clicks. You're doing it because you want some sort of notoriety, but you're a phony. You're a nobody. You're barf. I can't stand some of these people. I genuinely can't. It irks me to no end. I wanted this video to be short. It's a little longer than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. Some people will claim that I'm not religious. I pray to God every single day. I do. I pray to God with my family every single night. I try to keep God in my heart at all times. And I'll admit, I'm unsuccessful a lot of the time, especially when I am dealing with these type of people. I know that when I'm not listening to God, not listening to my heart, that it gets me into trouble. So why do I do it? I don't know. I'm a natural man. It happens. Things happen. I let my emotions get the better of me when I see people lying and trying to harm me and trying to use my experience for their own agenda. Now bringing this back into something positive. I know that God is real. I don't care if anybody doesn't like that. I've always known it. I've known from a young age. I've known from the time that a dog was attacking me and my friend said a prayer and the dog jumped off of me to chase somebody else. I've known from when I didn't go to church, as I chose to stay home as a young kid, and I felt something different. I felt what I would call the spirit withdrawing from me. I've known from experiences I've had when somebody was in trouble and I listened to the voice of God and helped them beyond anything that I could ever imagine, beyond anything that I could ever make up, anything that I could ever fathom. And the coincidence was not there. It was literally divine inspiration that I was able to stop somebody from being abused. I've known that God is there when my father passed away, when I knelt down and asked God to take away the pain. And I felt the pain from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head leave. I've known that God is there when I've had spiritual experiences on mountaintops, when I've had spiritual experiences in church meetings, in temples. I've known that God is there when I truly seek answers from Him. Truly, when I'm willing to do whatever it takes and I receive that answer, I know that God is there. I know that God is there in this whole event because I was going to be late and I felt God very distinctly tell me, no, stop what you're doing and go. God wanted me at that event. My interpretation of why He wanted me there is for this exact reason, so that I can boldly testify that He lives. I would have felt I always believed in God, as I've told you just barely. But telling you the world that He lives, that He literally speaks, and you can listen to Him too. All you have to do is have the intent to listen to Him, have the faith that He can speak to you, be willing to do whatever it is that He asks of you, and He'll speak. The reason why those things are requisite is because He doesn't want you to be accountable for something that you're not willing to do. If God were to appear to you today and tell you to do something and you didn't do it, that would hold you under extreme condemnation. So God allows you to have faith. God allows you to have trust. God allows you to have belief. And as you have belief and trust in Him, He'll give you that measure of your faith in witness. And the stronger your faith, the greater the witness you're able to receive. Because God then knows, almost like you can be trusted with that more sure knowledge that He is real and that He's there. The hard part with all of this, like if you pray and ask God for a witness that He is real, be ready for a trial. Be ready for something very difficult. I had a vision once that I was sat on the Supreme Court steps. This was a vision after a lot of prayer. And I could literally perceive the smell. I could perceive the aura in the atmosphere. I could perceive what was happening in the Supreme Court. And it was a court case about religious freedoms in America. I don't need to go into more detail than that right now. But visions are real. God will give them to you as well. That vision came to me after 6 or more months of pleading with God for answers about this particular subject. So it's not always in your time, but He will come. And when you are truly ready and you're truly seeking Him, He'll give you answers and He'll give you guidance. Not everyone's answers come the same way. Not everyone's answers come in the same time frame. But I promise you that as you diligently seek God, study His Word, study the Scriptures, pray about them, you'll notice a meaningful impact of the spirituality in your life each day. Each day that you study, your spirit is going to grow stronger. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like, why would studying the Bible, why would studying God's Word make me spiritually stronger? Like that doesn't, like, why does that correlate? But it does. If you have a real intent to meet God and to understand Him, He'll come. And I don't even want to say that He'll come to you, because it's not like that. He's already there. He's literally already there knocking on your door. The act of reading the Scriptures, the act of trying to pray and meditate, all those things are doing is literally just turning yourself towards God. He's already there. I know that God lives. I know that He loves us. I know that Charlie believed in God. I love that Charlie believed in God. I love that Charlie used politics to reach more people and to bring them closer to God. I 100% believe that if time paused right before that bullet hit Charlie and God told him the impact that the bullet would have on the world, Charlie would have said, okay, let the bullet come. Because the impact that has happened since then, the number of people that have learned who Charlie Kirk is, has exponentiated. And from that, they go to who Charlie pointed towards, who is Jesus Christ. I genuinely feel that he would have chose that. And that's going to be something that's going to be asked of all of us in the coming days. Do we choose life? Do we choose God? Will we stand as a witness of Him in the face of a gun? It's going to happen. It's coming. I don't know when, but it's coming. Choose now whom you're going to serve. Are you going to stand for God? Are you going to stand for yourself? Are you going to stand for some crazy conspiracy theory? Just know that I love you. I care about you. The gospel is true. God loves you. Jesus Christ is your Savior. And you won't love it unless you live it.